What's up, guys? So in this video we're going to be talking about some rescue ace combos that will really help you make those epic boards, how to play through hand traps, etc. Now, if you haven't seen my part 1, I go through every single rescue ace card in depth and I show you a standard build as well, which is going to be so helpful for you. So definitely look up here, it's going to be around. Go watch that and then come back. For everyone else, here's some of the combos. Right, guys, so the first combo I'm going to show you is how to get Heat Soul just from a rescue ace hydrant. So as you're going to see here, you're going to search out that preventer, moving forward, go into the Almirage. Now it's important for this combo that you do play Almirage and Sunlight Wolf, as that gives you recursion. It is possible to get to Heat Soul from hydrant and not do this and not play the Sunlight Wolf and Almirage, but you don't get recursion. So this is a slightly better version. But yeah, you can link into that Almirage, link into Sunlight Wolf, which is going to revive itself. Now you have two choices. If you want to add hydrant back to your hand, you don't trigger Sunlight Wolf here. If you do want to add hydrant back to your hand, sorry, if you do want to add, if you don't want to add hydrant back to your hand, activate Sunlight Wolf here, and then you can add preventer instead. If you do want to add hydrant, then you're going to want to make link rebo first before triggering Sunlight Wolf, and then you'll be able to add the hydrant back to your hand. Also keep in mind, remember, Heat Soul requires two different attributes of Cyberburst monsters to make it. So if your opponent tries to cheat and use the same attribute, it won't work, which is why you need both the Almirage and the Link Rebo. But from here, Sunlight Wolf effect, add back, make Heat Soul, and then you get a draw. So look, lovely little combo. You're going to end up with an extra card in hand and follow up for next turn. But Airlifter. So look, Airlifter's a really good card, and I would say that in most situations, this is going to be the standard combo you're doing. Don't make things too complex. You will lose to more hand traps if you do the more complex combos. So I would say it depends on your hand, it depends on how you've read your opponent, but the most basic Airlifter combo is going to be just normal summon an Airlifter, bring Terahertz out, set 4. Now, the reason why I like this as a basic simple combo is because it doesn't lose too much. If you do this, your opponent needs to have Imperm or Veiler. They could Ash Emergency, but a lot of people are not going to be Ashing Emergency because it has a cost associated with it. They're going to wait until you have something else after. So if you emergency into Hydrant, they're going to ash you there because they know that's harder. Whereas if you're bringing Terahertz straight out of the deck, a lot of people won't expect that. So I really like this as a basic combo. Now, also, playing around Imperm and, sorry, not Imperm, playing around Evenly Matched and back row Destructions, very possible in this deck, but you have to be careful about what you set. And so these are the best 4 to set. This will play around Evenly Matched, Lightning Storm, it will play around Talents, it will play around Thrust, it will play around Kurakara, and that's what I really like. But you do need to set Alert, Emergency, Extinguish, and Reinforce. Well, Extinguish doesn't actually matter. It could be Extinguish or Contain, but I like to pick Extinguish because it removes the body from the field. But what's going to happen is we're going to go into the opponent's turn. They're going to declare battle phase. You let them go into battle phase, and the first thing you do is you activate Emergency and you put Turbulence. In the grave. Now look, they've gone into battle phase, so at this stage, if they don't have a monster on board, they're only going to get one attack, so your hydrant is going to be protected. You don't need the big turbulence brick on the board anymore. Then you're going to reinforce your hydrant so that they can't be popped by card effects, and then activate alert. Now remember, while you have hydrant on the board, alert can search from decks. So first I'm going to search the preventer because that's a really good follow-up for next turn. They're going to activate evenly. Sure, I don't give a crap, so we can imagine that this extinguish has been banished. Then, now you'd normally save this to the end phase, but I just did it here to make it quicker and show. You're going to reset the alert with your reinforced, and when it passes back to you, you get to activate alert again and you search the air hoister. Now you've got full combo again, and they're definitely going to die off of that. So that's how you can play around evenly matched and other kind of back row removals in this deck. It's really good. You just have to be conservative about what you set. Now moving on, Airlifter does a lot as well. So I'd say that Airlifter, if you want to extend more and put more cards on the board, you have some Airlifter combos, for example, like this. So you have Airlifter, which can also end on Heat Soul. So you can have your Airlifter combo, bring the hydrant out. From here, you're going to search into the Turbulence. Turbulence is going to set 4, and then you're going to search Preventer with the set alert. Remember guys, this is a really big thing about Rescue Ace. When they set a Rescue Ace card off the effect of a Rescue Ace card, sounds silly, but that's actually how it's worded here, hydrant allows them to reactivate it. If they set it from hand, that doesn't work, but if you set it off the effect of Rescue Ace card, so that's either engrave or off Turbulence, you can activate it again. So you're going to search Preventer. Preventer's going to banish alert this time because you do need the extra body, so you do that. That's going to bring out Airlifter. Then you're going to link off the hydrant, and that's going to trigger your Sunlight Wolf to add back your Turbulence most of the time. Then you make Heat Soul. Now, what's particularly amazing about this combo, obviously, is again, you did it off one card, but you ended on a draw and a Heat Soul and the set cards, which is really, really nice. Another example of this combo is you can not go into your extra deck at all, and instead you can end on Preventer. Preventer is really good in certain matchups. So if you're against Sprite, if you're against Kashtira, you really want the Preventer Book of Moon, because that's actually going to stun them harder than a lot of the other things you can do. So it's a similar combo. The only difference here is that you're just going to end on these three. And so here you've got the buffed effect of your back row because of Hydrant. You've got the Turbulence on board, which doesn't really matter, I'll be honest, but it's there, which is nice. And you've got the Preventer Book of Moon. Now, next up, we've got even more combos. Now, in this situation, this is, I would say, a really good combo to do for games 2 and 3 when you have side and you want to see side cards. And so this is if you open Hydrant and HQ. Now, it's similar to the Airlifter combo. The only difference is, in this combo, we do get to draw 2 extra cards on our turn and then a card on our opponent's turn. So we're really digging and emptying our deck, which is nice because it means that we're going to see those side cards. So you do a similar combo. You just did the normal summon Hydrant, then you did your standard Airlifter combo. The only difference is, in this combo, you do end up with 4 cards in grave. So you get to use your Heat Soul, and then you also get to use your Headquarters, and look, that's going to draw you an extra card. Really, really good. Yet another version. Look, guys, I'm not going to show you every single Airlifter combo, but there are a lot. So here is another one. This is if you want to end on Appaloosa. So against decks like Drytron, I'd say Appaloosa is almost FTK. And so in this example, for example, look at my tongue twister. In this combo, we're going to do a similar thing to before. We're going to climb using Prevent to do standard combos. The only difference here is, instead of going into Heats or anything like that, we're going to go into a Link 4 Appaloosa, and then on our opponent's turn we can do one of two things. We can either use Emergency to send Preventer, special summon our banished Airlifter, and then or we can use our Rescue to bring our Hydrant from grave instead. But 3 mat Appaloosa plus potential pops as well. Very, very nice. Okay, so the last Airlifter combo I'm going to show you guys is just going to be making IP from Airlifter. So again, we're going to be doing normal summon Airlifter, do Hydrant, standard everything the same, bring Turbulence out. The only difference here is that what we're going to do is we're going to add the Preventer and then go straight into IP Masquerader using the Preventer and our Link 1. There's actually loads of choices. The reason why I like leaving Preventer on the board here is because I do have that Rescue, and so on my opponent's turn I can bring out my Hydrant and then I can Book of Moon a card if I really need to. But yeah, really makes not a huge difference. This is a nice end board as well, because when you link off your Preventer with IP Masquerader, she's going to bring back, so your Preventer is going to bring back one of your banished Airlifters to search follow-up as well. So I lied. One more Airlifter combo, but this is a special one because this is going to end in Terahertz. Now, I think Terahertz is very, very good for this deck because you don't have a way of dealing with spells and traps and mass back row removal, and so this gives you a way in your deck. And I do say Terahertz, but you can actually end on pretty much any Link 6 or any Link 5 or any Link 4, but we're going to go specifically for that. So standard combo again, adding the Preventer. The only difference this time is we're going to make a Reproducus. Now look, this combo can be done with 2 cards, and if you do it with 2 cards, you don't actually need cards like Reproducus. But the reason why I prefer this is off 1 card. Remember all of that. You're getting all of these off 1 card, and I think I'm okay to commit extra cards in my extra deck because it doesn't matter if I lose them. I was getting them for free anyway. Another thing is, keep in mind with a lot of these combos, you always want to set Rescue, because Rescue means that if your opponent does decide to Nibiru you, you're not going to lose instantly. So I always say that when I'm doing this combo, I don't really need Reinforce because I'm not scared of being matched. So I'm going to set Rescue instead. Rescue means that if they do Nibiru me or something, it's not the end of the world. But you're going to go into Reproducus, and you're going to change your Hydrant into a Cyberse monster. This is very, very important because then you're going to use that to make Link Decoder. Now, moving on from there, after you've made your Link Decoder, you're going to use your Reproducus and your whatever your Link 1 monster is called, your Hydrant, sorry, to make Protect Code Talker. Now, Protect Code Talker, awesome card. This came out in the last set, and this basically, both of these cards basically add +1 to whatever Link combo you're doing, which is really good about them. Now, be careful here. You do have to make sure you use your Turbulence plus your Protect Code Talker to make the Link 4. That is because the Link 5 Terahertz does require 3 Cyberse monsters, so you need to get that card off the field ASAP, otherwise you won't be able to make him. You're going to then revive Protect Code Talker because it can revive itself when Firewall Dragon's on the board. And look, here is also very important. Firewall can bounce the Turbulence back to your hand so you have follow-up. So Yep, you're going to do that, bounce that back to your hand, and then from there go into your turbulence, send the save worm on your turn. Now this board is really, really good. Rescue on the opponent's turn brings back the hydrant, and what's particularly nice is that even if they dark rule or imperm the Terahertz, it doesn't matter. The save worm will still trigger, the save worm will still allow you to protect your back row, so they actually have to remove that body for it to have an effect, and again, off one airlifter. So this is a really nice combo. And then lastly, I'm going to show you one special combo as well. So this is going to be a warrior combo where you need to have air hoister, a level 1 tuner, and then any way to get to turbulence. Now the any way to get to turbulence isn't mandatory, but obviously it's a rescue ace deck, so we want some way to resolve our rescue ace combo. So this is a 2.5 card combo, but I would say it's still a very effective one, as this will protect you from Veiler, Nibiru, follow up on your back row removal on your opponent's turn, and then it will also give you an Ash Blossom if you do negate something as well. So we're going to go into Airlifter, he's going to search Rescue, and we're going to make Denglong. Denglong is going to search 9 pillars, which is a Arcana trap, and then the thing about 9 pillars that is also really good is that it shuffles the card that your opponent uses into the deck. So you do want to use this against evenly and stuff, but also if they have a monster on board or something, you can use that and you're not going to trigger its effect when it goes to the grave. Now, the great thing though is that you make Chao Feng as well. Chao Feng is a really, really good card. It's pseudo floodgate, which stops light monsters in this context, because it was used light Yang Zing monster was used to make it. And so here, look, we have turbulence effect. We're going to set 4 from the deck. We have 9 pillars, which is going to protect us from pretty much everything. And then if we do destroy Chao Feng searches for a tuner monster from the deck, which means we can search for an Ash Blossom and interrupt our opponent even more. There's no way your opponent's cracking this board normally. So yeah, this is another really, really awesome Rescue Ace combo. So guys, as you can see, loads of different combos you can do with this Rescue Ace deck. Now, for the Cyburst combo I did, this is the deck list I use. If you want the standard Rescue Ace combos in the deck list I use for that, in my initial video, part 1, which is up here, somewhere around, I have that deck list right at the end, so go look at that as well. In terms of the Warrior one, I'll show you that on my next video, because we're going to have a part 3 where we talk about techs and different ways you can play the Rescue Ace engine and different things that you can play in it, which will make it a lot better. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Peace.